War is raging, government is stealing our freedom, food processing plants are burning, and gun sales are through the roof. You're in the right place. This is The Prepared Mind. Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel, Sunday Night Live. Yes, I sound like shit because, yes, I sound like shit. Let's get into it, though. We're going to have a great show. Remember, Sunday Night Live is your show to talk about whatever is on your mind with respect to SHTF. It can be military. It can be economic. It can be social. It can be educational. Of course, it can be political, and it can be around the world, anywhere, World War II, or even Mad Max on a local level. It's your show, your comments, your questions. And right up there is a super chat button, and that gets you on the screen right here. I'll make you famous. And you also have Venmo, CashApp, and PayPal down below. And those are also how you get on the board here. And we're going to start, though, with none other than I think, let's do chin music right out the gate. Chin music right out the gate. He did a $52.43 super chat on Venmo. Now, here's the deal. Anything over $50 buys me a shot of scotch. So, but tonight, I don't feel like just slamming them. My voice is a little messed up, so I'm going to use them therapeutic style. So, right into the glass with some ice. And this is the glass that Monsieur Man got me. It said, there comes a time when a man must spit on his hands, hoist the black flag, and begin to slit throats. That's what she says right there. Semper Fi to one and all. God bless America. And the shit's coming. Oh, yeah, that's medicine. That's medicine for the old man. So, chin music. He wanted to talk about Chuck Schumer. And not my words, these are chin words. He says, I want you to talk about the shitbag, hypocrite motherfucker whose face he would like for it to meet a high-speed object at the end of his arm. And Chuck Schumer wanted to talk about polls. He was on the news talking about how Trump's numbers are going down. His poll numbers are going down. Well, interestingly, the host of the television show said, but, Chuck, your poll numbers are like 19%. So Chuck went from, polls, they tell us everything we need to know, and to, polls are garbage. Polls are garbage. They don't matter. They're always changing. Yeah, polls are the gospel truth to polls are garbage. We don't need to listen to those. Anyways, Chuck looked like a complete fucking idiot. Remember, Chuck Schumer looks like he married an ugly trans. Oh, good God. Not only that, this is the same dumb bastard who pretended to know how to barbecue, had a bunch of raw hamburger patties on a barbecue grill, and one of them had a piece of cheese on an uncooked hamburger. Chuck knows absolutely fucking nothing. If you don't even know that, how can we expect Chuck Schumer to know anything about law? He's just a political mouthpiece for the biggest scum on the planet. He's a fucking sellout. He's another career politician. Never had a real job. Never. No, no, and no. Never had a real job. Can you believe that? Well, I tell you what, I can. That's the type of pile of shit he is. Now, moving on from up Chuck to someone else who makes me want to up Chuck. I'm going to be talking about Carmelo Anthony here, but it's not my question. This one is coming from Darcy T, another great super chat, $50 super chat that is. And she likes to do PayPal, and PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo are down below in the description. Whereas everyone else, if you don't want to go that way, we got a super chat button right up there. So I'm going to pour a little medicine on that medicine. Take care of this here voice. Oh, yeah. Woo, mother's milk. Darcy says, good evening, John. There's my question for the zoo tonight. Of course, we are hearing about Carmel Anthony and the Austin Metcalf stabbing ad nauseum. Exactly. Ad nauseum infinitum. She says, plus all of the ancillary blowback with the crowdfunding and various videos depicting racist slurs, etc. Why do I get the feeling that this is being used by the powers that be to further inflame race relations within the United States? And then she says, bottoms up. Darcy T, bottoms up, semper fi, God bless you. I got to keep a little bit there just to keep the old whistle wet and going. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're not familiar, Carmelo Anthony showed up at a track meet, decided he was going to start rummaging through other people's property in the school tents, right? Each school has a tent set up for their gear, putting their personal belongings while you're at the track meet. You know, you got running, jumping, pole vaulting, hurdles, whatever the hell they're doing at a track meet. This son of a bitch is going through all their stuff, and Austin Metcalf decides to confront him and tell him to leave the tent, man. And a tent, when set up, belongs to those whose stuff is in it and who owns the tent. The tent becomes its own private property perimeter, in a manner of speaking. In other words, you can say, get out of my tent. Well, Carmelo's response was to stab him in the fucking heart and kill him. And he did. He killed him. He was arrested. Then he was let out on a much, 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 much less expensive bail. He raised just over $500,000 in Give, Send, Go, which is not supposed to provide money for those who need a defense fund for a crime they've committed. They're trying to say, well, this is self-defense. So right now, there is a lot of racist anger and frustration. And this was followed by the Shiloh Hendricks incident from a few days back, where allegedly a blonde mother felt like she was being harassed because a young black boy was going through her toddler's bag and taking stuff, stealing. So she called him out on it, and another black person, I presume all of these people that are black are Somalis, not Americans. They're foreigners, not Americans. They're from Somalia, not America. They're foreign, illegal invaders here screwing with Americans. And the guy was both a rapist and a child rapist. Right? He wasn't just a regular rapist. He was a special pedophile. But he doxed her. He got other Democrats to dox her. She flipped him off. She called him the N-word several times because he chided her. He goes, go ahead and say it. Say it. Go ahead and say it. Say it. So she did. Well, this blonde woman is also supposed to be a former Marine. So she's probably going to have a little more fire in her guts than most. And she was in protect her son mode. Well, she's been threatened and then threatened some more. She and her family's doxxed. She got fired. And now she's cleared the amount of money that Anthony Carmelo got. She's surpassed him. You know, she's not a murderer. She didn't stab anyone in the fucking heart with a knife. Sure, she didn't really commit a crime, except they're trying to get her. They want a hate crime charge. Well, we're going to start having a serious free speech conversation in this country. A free speech conversation. We'll talk more about that in a second. But it almost seems like they are intentionally stirring up racial anger. Kind of like they did in, you guessed it, 2020. We got the COVID lockdowns, and they decided they would start race wars in America. And all the Democrats, the mayors, city council, the police, the governors, the assemblies, they all excused burning, looting, and murdering. Not to mention raping all across this country. They set back race relations because, folks, divide and conquer, as Darcy has suggested, is a way to give the powers that be more power. So she wrote, again, why do I get a feeling that this is being used by the powers that be to further inflame race relations within the United States? The reason you get that feeling is because that's what they need. They've been trying to get a race war started, and it is going to get nasty. Congress right now, I'll add this bit of, shall we say, kindling to the fire. Congress is trying to pass a bill that would make it illegal to criticize Israel or engage in a boycott of Israeli products or companies. I would like to say, have you dumb motherfuckers ever heard of the First Amendment to the Constitution for these United States of America? Obviously, if Chuck Schumer doesn't know how and when to put cheese on a fucking cheeseburger, and if he doesn't know you're not supposed to marry a man, he probably doesn't know anything about the fucking Constitution. But they're going to try and make some sort of anti-Semitic law. We're going to have a showdown over free speech. Not freedom to commit a crime, free speech. They're trying to divide America because when politicians are standing on one side and other politicians are standing on the other, it empowers the politicians. That's what this is about. Divide and conquer to give themselves more power and authority. That's what is going on. Now, over the weekend, I was having a discussion with a friend who's a minority. And I said, you know, I went to work at a restaurant in high school. The old lady that I worked for, and she was old. She was in her, I think, her 60s at that point. Lived through the race riots of the 1960s in Chicago. And she, being an old German white woman, said that they were constantly getting in fights with the blacks. And I was shocked. I never heard of that in school. And she says, well, that's what it was. They would bring razor blades stuck in their hair. They would bring sticks to smack them on the head to try and cut them. They get in big-ass giant fist fights. I don't want us to go back there in America. There's no reason to go back to that, except it's beneficial for those in power, right? Once again, right? There's various videos out there showing us why we should hate each other. And I've been watching black commentators, video producers, social influencers, if you wish to call them that. There's a bunch of them that are not happy with what's being done, and they see that these blacks are being used. They're being fooled into hating white people because everything is a fucking race hustle, right? And white people are finally tired of being picked on and told they're going to be destroyed financially and attacked physically. And it's the game that they're playing, folks. These people in power, it's working. And if we're so distracted looking at this race or that race, we're not going to see what they're doing to our country. And that's why you need to be prepared here and prepared with food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Because the Israelis want to punish us for criticizing them. Right? The blacks want to criticize white because they don't like whites. The whites are tired and sick of being fucked with by these illegals. And look, we're all watching Ireland, which is in the fight for its life. London, which I think is lost. And most of Europe is toast. Canada is on its way out the door. And now the Muslims, the Jihad Joes are in America, and they're standing in front of their mosques bragging about how they're going to take over this country. Well, whites are actually an international, or shall we say, global minority. If we want to survive this, we're going to have to fight tooth and nail to the fucking death. That's what it's looking like. You know, if all white people are only 6, 7, 8% of the world population, we got one hell of a fight in front of us. Holy shit. Crazy world, folks. What do you want to talk about, though? What's on your mind? What is going on that you've seen, that you've noticed, that we all need to know about, that we all need to be aware of, and we all need to discuss? And again, this is not a white supremacist show. This is an American show. Right? And like I said, I've got no use for any of this bullshit. It doesn't help my message to talk about race relation crap. What this channel is about is you and me being prepared and seeing people that are trying to destroy our country. And they want to destroy us. And they want to put us into an SHTF situation that causes all manner of trouble for us, so that they can take more power, more control, more wealth, and ultimately they want to destroy our Constitution. A lot of people have said, why would they want to destroy America? Why? Well, when you destroy America, you don't destroy the food, the mining, right, the natural resources. Destroying America means destroying the Constitution, destroying this. That's what they need to destroy. Once this is out of the way, the bad guys, the bankers, the other nations that are involved, China, Israel, England, the Vatican. Oh yeah, the Vatican. They all want to own big chunks of America, just like they want to own Russia. And I'll tell you who has a big chunk of control over America is a country that is telling us that we, the people, can't criticize them or boycott them. That tells you a lot about who's spending a lot of money trying to take over the government and use divide and conquer as their means. Crazy world, folks. Crazy world. Okay, Mr. Uman, we're up at 275 people live right now. The show has just begun. We're going to have about 2 hours or until my voice goes out. Let's have some fun. Let's see what you guys want to talk about. Let's get prepared. Woo. And Biaxo77 checks in with a $1.99 super chat donation. And he says, the House in New York passed government-assisted suicide, meaning suicide. Meaning, if you want, the government will help kill you. Hell, we don't need a government for that. We got Dr. Fauci. He'll fucking kill you lickety split. You bet that's exactly what the government wants. They want you to kill yourself. They want you to feel so fucking unhealthy, so despondent, so worthless, so hopeless that you just like, you know what, I may as well just kill myself. Now, I don't think that's going to be for all of us, folks. Let's think about this for a second. You know, when you're alive, do you really want to kill yourself? Or do you want to kill yourself when you're sick, diseased, right? Feeling run down and weak, psychologically battered? those are the people that typically commit suicide. You know, they're suffering from depression, PTSD, or they've been taking government drugs. But there's one government drug that I think is going to put a lot of people in this situation right here, where they feel like suicide's the best option. And that would be people who have taken the Jim Jones juice. The number of diseases that are coming out that are associated with that shit. People are having myocarditis, pericarditis, heart problems, pulmonary issues, lung problems, full of clots that are affecting their ability to breathe, their heart to operate, their motor functions, their skills, their limbs, their arms, their legs. It's causing neurological problems. It's causing micro strokes in their brain, little chunks breaking off and getting stuck. They're losing their minds. They're losing control of themselves. And cancer, or rather, I should say, turbo cancer, is also running off the hook these days. Just last week, it was reported that children, that's right, little children, are getting colon cancer. Can you imagine that? Unbelievable. So a place like New York, hell, they'll help you kill yourself if you're feeling worthless, helpless, hopeless, and diseased and done. Canada has the same thing, folks. But they let in all of these illegals. Millions and millions of illegals who never got the Jim Jones juice. They were never screened for health. They were never quarantined for health. They were never checked for health. They were never tested for cerveza bug. They're just let in the country. Unfucking believable. They want to replace all Americans. And that includes you Hispanics that were already here, you blacks that were already here, Asians and whites. They don't care. They only need a stupid, dumbed down slave population. And it works for them. Let me tell you how. These crazy, batshit crazy Islamic fuckheads from the Middle East, they'll kill anyone at the drop of a hat if they think Allah will give them 72 virgins. Right? That's what they think. But you know what they never do? You know who they never mess with? They never, ever, 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 ever mess with the royal families. And how many of those fucking guys, princes, are there in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, et cetera, et cetera? There's thousands of them, literally thousands. And they are a bunch of, shall we say, hedonists. They're going to do whatever they want, whenever they want, because they got the money to do it. They don't live by the Quran, not the way these radical jihad Joes do. And the people, the little people, they never, ever, ever fuck with the elites. So that's what they think in America. The Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Barack Obamas, the Clintons. They think they're going to be the elite, and the retarded Muslim population that's going to replace us won't mess with them because they're the elites. So that is their example to go by. Get rid of us and they'll be the people in charge. That's exactly what they have in mind, folks. Now, thank you, Biaxo. Darcy T is back in the house with another super chat donation. And she says, hey, during Hurricane Harvey, people were given a legal document to sign before they could receive relief funds in Texas. Now, Hurricane Harvey happened back in, I think, was it 2017, 2018? I remember we did some great fundraising for that. But she says they had to sign a legal document before they could receive relief funds. One of the sections of the agreement was that you would not boycott Israel, etc. It sounds like they had that language ready for years and are now making it a law. Well, I hate to break the fucking news to Washington, D.C., to Israel, for the crown prince and king of England, to the Pope and the cardinals and everyone. Americans don't give a fuck. And that is a hill I will die on, literally. You're not going to throw me in jail. You're not going to fine me. You can go fuck yourselves. And any country that thinks it's going to use our government, they can go fuck themselves. And Texas better pull its fucking head out of its ass, or it's going to go right down the toilet quicker than shit. The people of Texas better wake up. You better remember the fucking Alamo, because instead of horses and Indians, you're going to have camels and fucking Jihad Joes everywhere riding up your ass. And folks, the Alamo did not end well for the Texans. They all died there. That wasn't a great victory. It was a last stand until they all died. God bless Texas. Remember the Alamo, but don't forget, you put yourself in a position where you can be overrun, you will be overrun. As sure as the Marines got slaughtered at Wake Island when the entire Japanese fleet came down on their heads with no backup. Right? They've had this language ready for years. Fuck Israel. I am not pro-Palestinian. I am not pro-Hamas. I'm not pro-Middle East. I'm pro-America. I am pro-freedom and liberty. If we don't have rights as individuals, we don't have rights at all. How do they know if you're boycotting Israel at all? Anyways, how the fuck would they know? Are they going to send Nancy Pelosi? Is Chelsea fucking Clinton going to come in my house and look around and try and find something from Israel? We're going to have trouble, folks. We have interference from China. We have interference from Israel. We have interference from England, the European Union, and the Vatican. We have interference from Canada. We have interference from Mexico. They are all trying to interfere with our borders, our sovereignty, our rights, our economy, and our money. All of them. It is going to become a shit show extraordinaire. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Hey, if you've got something to say, I want to hear it. We'll read it. Get it right up there. Super chat button. We'll get your comments, questions, and thoughts on the screen. We've got, where are we at? We're about 1/2 hour in, and we've got 2 hours total. So that means we got 90 minutes left. I've got a ton of stuff to listen to talk about, to show you guys. But what I want is I want to hear what's on your mind. This is not the John Show. This is the zoo, meaning all of social media are here. All of social media. We got YouTube. We got the preparedmind.club. We got X. We got Facebook. We have subscribestar.com. Let's do it. Jolene, who is up next? We've got a Heidi with a $2 super sticker. Thank you very much, Heidi. And she says, look for the aliens and the garage. Well, that's an interesting comment because I don't know what the hell that means. I really have no idea. Aliens and a garage. Is this code, Oliver? Am I missing something here? Yep. Not making fun of you, Heidi. Just kind of went over my head. Aliens and the garage. There's too many aliens. We're still being threatened with aliens from outer space. The UFO, UAP type people, extraterrestrial, extratestical people, they're going nuts right now. They are expecting a disclosure. Right? The government's been doing it slowly over the last decade, slowly telling us there's something out there. We're not alone in the universe. Meanwhile, down on the ground, we've got aliens coming through the woodwork that are natural earthling aliens. Wild business. I swear, folks, 10 years ago, this was a different country. 10 years ago. Before Obama, it was a different country. Before Bush, it was a different country. Before the Clintons, it was a different country. I haven't felt like this was America since I was a fucking kid in the 1980s. That's when we were free. Free to go where you want, say what you want, do what you want. Free to walk up to an adult and ask them to buy you a 12-pack of beer on a Friday or Saturday night, hand them a $20 bill. Hell, they go in the store, get the brand you want, come out, give you your fucking change and say, here you go, kids, have some fun, but be safe, huh? You could go out on a country road and sit back with a couple cases of beer, start having a party, and if a policeman came along, they would just take your beer and say, you kids are rascals, now get on home, right? And they take our beer, and it was no big fucking deal, right? It was a different world. And if they caught you again, they go, hey, what's your daddy's name, right? Oh, yeah, I think I've heard of him. You do this again and I catch you, it's your ass. I'll let him know and he'll beat your ass for me. That was a different world where you're held responsible, but it was just a different world. Now, worried about getting shot by illegal aliens from Central America, fucking Afghanistan, Pakistan, Northern Africa. Unbelievable. 300 people live right now, folks. That's great. Hit the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. You have to be a subscriber for 5 minutes or more before you can comment. Subscriber on YouTube. So get subscribed on YouTube. Do it and then share. Share the internet address. Share the internet address. And Darcy T is back again. Back again. And I'm going to have to pour another shot for Darcy T here. She is keeping me busy and making sure I'm well medicated. Thank you, Darcy T. Into the glass. And we're putting a dent on this bottle real fast. Thank you, Darcy T. Darcy wanted to follow up about the Hurricane Harvey. And if you want the money from the government, you got to sign a piece of paper agreeing to abandon your First Amendment right to criticize or boycott somebody. And she says, hey, this happened in Dickinson, Texas. Hard to believe that the ACLU jumped on it. It was a different world about 10 years ago. She says, I think they took out the requirement after people complained. That's right. Right? They were told you don't get money unless you promise not to boycott Israel. Well, I got to tell you folks this. You cannot waive and throw your rights away. Right? You cannot do that. You cannot do that. Thank you, Darcy T. I appreciate the great support and super chat donations. You cannot. What do you have a right to? What was explicitly discussed in the United States Constitution? You have the right to liberty, right? Freedom, right? Freedom, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That includes the ability to go where you want, say what you want, do what you want to the extent you're not hurting someone's property or violating a law for the common good, right? And that is where the government thinks they've got us. Well, it's for the common good. Sorry. Individual rights trump the common good unless someone can show a direct injury from their rights being violated. Now, can you waive your rights? The government's doing all they can to say, yeah, you can. The government will help kill you. Well, you have a right to life. The government can take your life if you agree to it. You know, you shouldn't give your rights up, but you shouldn't have to sign a piece of paper. That's called duress. When someone withholds something until they get you to sacrifice your rights, that's duress. It's extortion. Not good, right? Racketeering is another thing that's called. If you don't want to exercise free speech, you can just choose not to, but someone can't make you take it away. If you don't want to exercise your Second Amendment, You don't have to go buy a gun, but someone can't make you sign your rights away. Right? The police tell you if you've broken a law or been suspected of breaking a law, you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to be silent. You can say whatever the fuck you want, but they will use it against you in a court of law. Right? But that's how the game is played. These people want us to give up our rights voluntarily. Now, yeah, back then, oh, right, the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, they used to be about protecting people's rights. You know what they're about now? They are flagrantly anti-American. They are flagrantly anti-American and pro-Israel. They are a legal group, a legal guild, a legal co-op that is in America now operating. As far as I'm concerned, they are a terrorist organization because they are terrorizing Americans with their lawsuits. They're engaged in domestic terrorism by using the courts to try and strip us of our natural rights that come from God. I'm telling you, folks, we have one hell of a battle and hell of a war up ahead of us. Are you prepared? At what point will you become active in this fight? Some people think, well, I'm not going to fight until it's time to bring out the guns. No, okay, well, that's fine. I mean, you can wait till then if you want. But the surest way is to do nothing. And that will invite the physical armed conflict even faster. I, for one, am a peace-loving man. As a Christian, I don't want to have bullets flying. I don't want to have to shoot people. So I'm fighting this fight right now, the fight with free speech and my rights. But the Second Amendment is in my rights, and the Declaration of Independence says I have a right and a duty to get rid of shitty government. I have the right and a duty to do just that. And I'm fighting within the great state of Florida to make sure my state is thinking about things correctly. And the fight is going to go on. Gold and silver should be money. Islam is a terror organization and should not be allowed to hold office because they cannot take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and make it, right, what? Make it the priority. To whom one owes loyalty is the state, the country that they're in, not some other religion or some other country. And let's just talk about it. Muslims in 56 other nations went into those nations not to be free, not for great medical care, not for the wealth, but because they saw a weak country that was ripe to be overthrown. And so they went in first a few, and then more and more, and decades later, they have the populations in place to take over those countries. They start beating people, raping people, and murdering people, as well as stealing their property. They're not a religion. It's a fucking cult of death, and it demands obedience. And they'll kill you. So they've done it 56 other times, these Muslims. You think they're going to stop just because they got to America? They see every country as ripe for taking over. They see every people as weak and will submit to their tyranny. And when you live by the sword, there's only one way to stop them, and that is to use the sword. They will, and they must die by the sword. I'm not telling anyone to commit any crimes. I'm telling you the medicinal remedy for these people. That's the shit hitting the fan, folks. In America, who do we have again as our enemies? Number one, our own politicians who take money from China, from Israel, from Muslims, from the crown, from corporations, from banks. Politicians are our enemies. The Muslims are our enemies. The gangs from Central and South America and also Mexico are our enemies. We have racial tension in this country. The blacks are being told you need to hate America and kill white people. So a significant percentage of them have bought into that story, while the other percentage of black Americans are like, this is ridiculous and stupid. So we got this country divided, and a country divided cannot stand. A country that has its loyalty being given to England or Israel or China or the Pope, that country cannot stand. We're going to have to go into a time of extraordinary need and measures in order to protect ourselves. Are you ready for all the shit that's coming? All right, Jolene, let's do some more super chats. We're at 325 people live right now on a Sunday night. Woo! Who do we have next? We got Boomer21 with a $20 super chat donation. He says, hey, Carney, that's the new prime minister in Canada. Carney got in due to the Liberals increasing the population from 30 million to about 45 million in just 10 years. 10 years. This trend will continue, so now we'll never get rid of them. So a country that was essentially 30 million polite, white, European Canadians, French Canadian, English Canadian, German Canadian, Swedish Canadian, white Canadians, with some black Canadians. But in 10 years, they've added 50% to their population. And where did those people come from? You guessed it. The Middle East, the Far East, Arab countries, along the peninsula, or rather Persian Gulf. Unbelievable. So 1 in 3 Canadians now doesn't even know, doesn't care, doesn't want to assimilate into Canada. They want to import their belief systems, their religion, their hatred, and their murder of others. And I've had it with these fucking people up there, Boomer. I don't know how you put up with it. That fucking Sikh jackass that has his fucking head wrapped too tight. I don't like that son of a bitch. I don't like any of these fucking people. And yeah, you'll never get rid of them unless they are deported en masse. And this country, America, and your country, Canada, and Europe has a choice. You have a fucking choice. You either accept that these people are going to outpopulate you, out-reproduce you, and take over, and you're going to have to live under their rules and suffer their version of justice, or you're going to have to get rid of them. Send them back. When we say that America, Canada, and Europe, the populations we have, it's about 7-8% of the world's population that's white. And if you wish, you may count civilized black people and Hispanic people and Asian people as well, right? Maybe we amount to 10% of the world population that is westernized. You can add in Australia, which is being overrun also. Isn't this fucking amazing, though? Every country is being overrun by Muslims. The Anglo world is toast. Anglo-American law, common law, which our Constitution is based on, is England, Scotland, Ireland, is Canada, is the United States of America, is Australia and New Zealand. Those are the 5 common law Anglo countries, and they're all being overrun. Japan is actually starting to allow them in, and they're going to pay a heavy price with these third world retarded scumbags. It's going to be a problem, folks. It's not going to get better. If you give up your guns, it is going to be a much harder fight. I would rather deal with someone and their problem at 400 or 500 yards, 300 or 200 yards. I'd rather deal with their shit at 100 yards or 50 yards than in my face with a fucking rusty machete taking a swing at me. It is that kind of a world, and it's scary as hell, and it's happening. It is accelerating. Are you ready for what your own government wants to do to you? Are you prepared for what your government wants to do to you? Do you have food? Now I can come to you and go, do you see what the fuck is going on? Do you have a year's worth of food? Do you have the ability to process water, clean it, sanitize it, remove all pathogens, poisons, filter it? Do you have the appropriate clothing, right, to deal with the cold, harsh winters or the very hot summers? Do you have a decent home or bunker or location where you can live and defend yourself? Do you have medication? Do you know how to treat yourself? First aid? Do you have antibiotics? So much of this stuff that we're talking about is available on the thepreparedmind.club, our store, for going and linking and buying what you need. Do you have communication gear, CBs, walkie-talkies, two-way radios, Citizens Band? Do you have World Band radio? Do you have solar panels and batteries for power? Because they can kill the power just like they did last week in Europe. They took out Portugal, Spain, France, and several other areas throughout Europe because of their stupid-ass green energy. The preparedmind.club is your superstore for getting all you can, and even some self-defense items. You can get, do you have other, shall we say, quiet means of self-defense, like crossbows? Do you have, shall we say, pepper spray pistols, pepper spray, psh, psh, right? Now we're talking weapons that are yet to be a lot closer to use, but they're still weapons that you can get. Do you have good knives? The ability, folks, to do what you need to do. Do you have the right tools? Hammers, saws, shovels, pickaxes, mattocks. Do you have these sorts of things? Right? Do you have hatchets? Everything you need. Do you have rope? I lived in the fucking jungle for over 100 days at the RMZ. And I had my tactical tomahawk and some fucking rope and a tent and some tarps. And I was able to survive there. It was fucking great. Difficult. It would have been a whole different world, though, if I was being harassed by murderous scumbags rather than being harassed by a bunch of chickens. Anyways, good golly, folks. Are you prepared? All right, enough of that. I'm not trying to scare anybody. But by golly, if you can't read the news and see what the hell's coming your way, our way, all of us, then you have a big problem. You're wearing the blinders, you drank the fucking Kool-Aid, and you think everything's going to be just fine with Jihad Joe telling your daughter that she has to marry him. Good God. Jolene, who's up next? I need to talk about a different topic before I lose my shit. It's Roughneck, Redneck. And he says, demon rats have been pushing for a race war for years, and people have had just enough that they may get it. Here's going to be my recommendation, folks. We're at 350 people live. I want to hit 400, so share the internet address. Redneck Roughneck is correct. They've been pushing for a race war for years. I don't believe it's white against blacks. I don't believe it's blacks against Asians. I don't believe it's Hispanics against whites or Hispanics against blacks. It's going to be a race war because that's how it's going to be sold. But I guarantee it's not really about race. It's about politics. It's about politics. The Arabs or Muslims, if you will, it's not about their religion. It is a secular war. They are nothing more than a death cult. The politics, they want to own you, own your property, own America. They don't care what color you are. They're going to use their belief system as an excuse to kill you. Hey, if you convert to Islam, doesn't matter if you're white, black, Asian, or Hispanic. It don't fucking matter. Convert, which means get on your knees and kiss their fucking feet and swear allegiance to whatever the hell it is they believe in, and you're fine. Now you can be one of them. You can grow a stupid beard just like they have. You can wear sheets. You can put your fucking diaper on your head after you're done crapping your pants. You can wear it on your head. Then you're good. Right? Race war. There is a shit pile of really good people who are not white who subscribe to civilization, intelligent thought, rational behavior, common sense. They're going to be standing next to us side by side, protecting you as much as you protect them from everyone who's coming at you who are lunatics. It's going to be that kind of a world, folks. But they're calling it a race war. They're showing us, because that's what the media is showing us. They're showing us all the angry black people. They're showing us that whites have had enough of this shit. They're showing us Hispanics fighting Muslims. Oh, yeah. I saw it, folks. I saw it. It was either California or was it Texas? Hispanics went up to the Muslims who were claiming that they were taking over and telling them, nope, this ain't your country. We ain't putting up with your shit. It is coming. It's going to appear to be racially motivated, but in all truth, it's political. The Hispanics that are in this country, whether they're brand new and they came in legally, or they're the sons and daughters of first and second and third generation that have lived in this country and lived the American dream and busted their asses and paid their taxes, they're not happy about all these illegal fucks coming over from Mexico and Central and South America. They're not happy about it at all. I needed that. No one's happy about it. Don't fall for the race game. I tell you, every day I go out and I see great people of all races. And they're nice and they're polite. There's no fucking room in my world, and certainly not in the area I'm in, for any of that shit. People are not allowed to get away with it. They're held to a fucking standard of decency. Oh, there's crime, of course. And the police are more than ready, police and sheriff's deputies, to take those people and erase them. Put them in jail and deal with their shit, or just send them out of the fucking state. There's no room here for it. Thank you, redneck, roughneck. Now, it is a political war that they're pushing for. It's going to have race and religion to blame. But it's actually the government that is allowing this. If the United States government and all the state governors weren't playing these fucking games with illegals coming in and giving them sanctuary status, and then turning around, the federal government giving fucking credit cards, Social Security money, paying for their fucking houses, paying for their food, their clothes, everything. If these illegals weren't here getting shit for free, if the government did their job and sent them the fuck out, we wouldn't have this problem, would we? So the only reason we have this problem is because of our own government, who, like King George in the 1770s, was bringing in foreign mercenaries to kill the American colonists. They're doing the same exact fucking thing. Washington, D.C., the bureaucrats, the Democrats, the Rhino Republicans, former presidents, they're doing the same thing. They're bringing in foreign mercenaries to pit against us and fight us and steal from us and kill us and rape us. Literally. Literally. When shit goes down, folks, the politicians, no matter who they are and where they're from, they're going to be held accountable. Yes, we're going to get rid of the bad guys from out of the country. Yes, we will eradicate domestic terrorists, but also the politicians. They don't get a fucking pass. They can lie and pretend, but they don't get a fucking pass. James O'Keefe, former owner, manager of the Project Veritas, the man who goes around undercover and gets Democrats and politicians and rhino scumbags and corporations and pharmaceutical companies and colleges to expose themselves and admit on camera all of the illegal shit they do. James O'Keefe went on camera, asked for people's prayers, and said he is going into hiding for a week. He and his assistants that he has with him are going in hiding, and they're awaiting the release of their next two reports, one of which is supposed to be earth-shaking. He believes that they are going to be targeted for death with what they're going to expose. So apparently they're going to expose the absolute worst crimes. Do you believe them? Do you believe that James O'Keefe has the goods? Or is this hype and we'll be disappointed? I don't know which, folks. I don't know which. If this is James O'Keefe pulling some hype and bullshit, well, then guess what? That'll be the last time I pay any attention to that dumb son of a bitch. But if he's actually got something like the Epstein list, if he's got the Epstein list and he lets it out, you know what the problem's going to be. Somebody on X today, and I will not say their name, said that the director of the FBI, Kash Patel, has said that he can't release the Epstein list because it would make Israel look bad. Oh, okay, so now we know who the bad guys are. I asked this person, give me your source. Otherwise, this is just a rumor. It's just a rumor unless there is a source for this quote from Kash Patel. And I haven't gotten that, so it is just a rumor that the Epstein list is so incriminating against Israelis and people with, shall we say, Israeli citizenship or Israeli dual citizenship. Well, let the chips land where they may. If Israel is that heavily involved in child pedophilia, kidnapping, trafficking, abuse, and rape, then it's not my fault. It's their fault. We need to quit playing these fucking games and protect our children, protect our wives and women, protect our sons and daughters, protect our parents, and protect our national borders and integrity. And our Constitution is the tool that provides us with the means to do all of those things and protect ourselves. The world is a much smaller place than it was 250 years ago. It is a much more complex place. It is a much more dangerous place. So I wonder, is James O'Keefe actually got the goods? What else could there be? I mean, if you think about it, Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency has uncovered trillions of dollars in waste, fraud, abuse, theft, and money laundering, bribery, payouts, extortion, everything. Where the fuck are the arrests? Nothing from Kash Patel, nothing from Dan Bongino, nothing from the Attorney General Pam Bondi, and Trump is all but fucking silent. He's all but silent. I know everyone has their jobs and they're supposed to do things, but we're not seeing what we need to see. We now know who was stealing the money. We know what organizations, what government bureaucracies. We know who was receiving the money. We know where the money was being moved around. They have done an amazing job of uncovering it. Hairy balls and big balls, these young men working for Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency have found this. The FBI tried erasing terabytes of information, massive amounts of data, and they're so fucking stupid they didn't do it right, and Elon Musk recovered it. They have the information. What did we hear last week? The FBI is busy destroying it again. Why? Because the people that are doing this to me and you and our nation are supposed to be the same people who are protecting you and me and our nation. And they're not doing it. They're selling us out. They're hiding They're paying themselves and rewarding themselves. They're accusing us of being bad and excusing their own behavior, saying, well, we're all in on it, so it doesn't matter. You and I are not in on it. This is our country and it's being stolen. I'm pissed off like hell. I can't fucking believe. Gator Red 157 says, well, when your grid feed cut at the main pole lines and remove your meter from its base, the feed wires are fried, melted to the ones melted together. Gas pipe and gas meter had a 90-volt reading. Well, I tell you what, Gator Red. Why would you pre-announce releasing information that would get you killed? Release it and they can't prevent you from releasing it. It's all bullshit, says Ooman. Alex Jones came out and said he for James O'Keefe has the dead man switch. Basically, if they kill O'Keefe, Alex Jones has it. Now, Alex Jones has been for decades, 30 years. He has been a firebrand, a big mouth, a communicator, a hype master, but he's also been right so many times. President Trump campaigned on his show and with Alex Jones because he needs all the votes he can get. So, yeah, he went to Alex Jones. Is Alex Jones part of a PSYOP? Is he COINTELPRO? Right? Is he counterintelligence? Is he a distraction? Is he the real deal? Is he all of those things? You know, a double, triple fucking agent with information. I don't know. But why would you leave if you need a dead man switch? Why would you leave it with anybody when you could leave it with everybody? If I had the information on my desk, it wouldn't sit on my desk for very fucking long. It would go to everyone I know. It would go to everyone who's given me an email over the years so they could all see it. And I give them explicit instructions. Send this to everybody. News stations, radio stations, internet, everyone on the internet that you deal with. Spread it far, spread it wide. Don't hide the fucking information. That's how they control it, is by hiding it. It's valueless and pointless unless it goes everywhere. Which is why we're on YouTube and the preparedmind.club and Facebook and Subscribestar and the preparedmind.club and Rumble and BitChute and everywhere we can. X. Trying to get the information out so it's not hidden. It's not special. What we discuss isn't a fucking secret. It needs to be public. The attitudes, the information, the perspectives need to be shared publicly. Instead of what you get on the fucking news. You turn on a local news channel in Florida or Texas or California or New York or fucking Illinois or Wisconsin. It doesn't matter. The news announcers all use the same words telling the same story. If you watch CNN or NBC or CBS or MSM, it doesn't matter. You get the same stories. It is a very narrow perspective because they want to control your thoughts. Social media, the alternative, us, all of us across all of our networks are the reason we're free up here still, because they are not controlling us and they hate that. They hate that you can communicate. They hate the fact that you're not seeing this as a race war. They want you to. They want you to be pissed off. Hell, I'm pissed off at all these fucking retards, no matter what the race is, if they're not using common fucking sense and seeing it for what it is. It's not about keeping the black man down. It's not about shoving the Hispanics over the border. It's about protecting decency in our fucking country. If you can't be decent, get the fuck out. Right? If you think Wakanda in Africa is real, go live in fucking Wakanda, Africa. Go find it. And if you're a Muslim, just get the fuck out altogether, because there is no talking to you. There is no reasoning. There literally is not a moderate. There is only a Muslim that isn't willing to kill you. And I'm tired of this fucking game of pretending we can all just get along and coexist. It's a lie. The LGBT crowd has proven they can't get along. They want to molest children. I read an article about a woman who is doing what? Her child doesn't want to transition anymore, and they're taking the drugs and putting it in the kid's food. So the kid continues to transition and take these fucked up drugs that's fucking their bodies up. The wacko liberals are still trying to put trans and drag queens in classrooms with kids and force kids to read their fucking sick, perverted books. It is Jewish Kabbalah that has 8 different genders that they want everyone to believe you can be whatever you want. These are some sick fucking people, and they're trying to lie to everyone and fool everyone. Learn the truth. Learn about history. The Holocaust is not what they said it is. Israel is not the country they said it is. Palestine is not the country it pretends to be. Fuck, the Palestinians had the Star of David in their fucking flag before Israel was pronounced a nation after World War II. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on the side of freedom and liberty. Are you prepared to deal with reality? That's where we're at, folks. Reality. Not some partisan bullshit. Fuck. Good golly. Let me ask you this question. If the government in Washington, D.C. passed a law that says you could not criticize China and you could not boycott Chinese goods, what would you say? I know for a fucking fact you'd be like, fuck China. What do we owe China? We don't owe China shit. Who the fuck is China? We can say whatever the hell we want about those Chinese people. Who gives a shit what they think? Fuck them. But when Israel says you can't criticize them or boycott them, first off, people are like, do we buy anything from fucking Israel? But why can't we? Oh, because they're the God's chosen people. No, they're not. They are not. These are not the Israelites of the Bible. It's a country called Israel. It's a fucking name game. They practice Judaism. That doesn't make them God's Israelites. It's a fucking sham. I know it. They know it. When you know it, you know it. If you know what's coming, are you ready? Serious shit, folks. It's serious shit. Jolene, who's up next? We got Bioxo77 with a $1.99 super chat. He says, I'd like to talk to you about the thumbnail. I'd likely you to talk about the thumbnail. Stupid text box for super chats. It's horrible and screwy. Well, the thumbnail is, I just went on the internet and I just put in, show me Camp Pendleton, Mount Mother, which is a nice way to say Mount Motherfucker. What we had to do in as a Marine in California, Camp Pendleton is down there between LA and San Diego. And you can see that road going over the little hills and through the valley and then up that mountain and up and up and up and up. And we had to do an 18-mile hump or hike or a forced march. And that hill is called Mount Motherfucker. So you've got a 50-pound Alice pack. And you've got your rifle, M16. And you got your combat boots on. You got everything you need to live and fight a fucking war on your back. Right? Poncho, tent, every fucking thing. And you look up and you see this fucking mountain just goes up. And then it goes up and up and up and up. The reason I use that for a thumbnail is because that picture is from way back and you can see it. It's out in the future. You've heard about it. And every step you take brings you closer to it. It brings you closer to it. Every time we got anywhere near that thing, right? Every platoon, every week, every fucking company, every fucking battalion marching up that son of a bitch of a hill. I watched this Lieutenant Dixon fucking try and run up it. He made it about, I don't know, 50 yards up it, just about keeled over. It is steep. Now, the deal is you can see shit hitting the fan. You can detect it. It's out in our future. It's not so far away now that you can't see it. And every step brings you closer. And every step, it becomes a more clear picture of the mountain we're all going to have to go over. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be grueling. It's going to be difficult. And people are going to fall out. And that was the deal with Mount Motherfucker. Is people would fall out of their squad, out of their platoon, out of their series, out of the company, out of the battalion. Hundreds of men. And people would fall here and fall out there. And I had this guy from, I believe it was platoon 1081 in front of me. And his name was Tan, Than. And I was at the front of my my squad, the squad leader. And I grabbed this fucking guy by his backpack, and I would not let him fall behind me. Right. So instantly I had drill instructors all over me and fucking sergeant just screaming and yelling, right? You pick this guy up and carry him up the fucking hill. Right. This is what we're all going to need to do with each other. We're going to be getting screamed at, yelled at. Life is going to be hell. It's extremely difficult. You're tired. You're thirsty. It seems impossible. And you need to help one another. And it doesn't matter what race you are, as long as we're all fucking Americans. That's why I put that. And that's why I said, if you know what's coming, if you can see it, if you know what's coming, if you've heard about it, are you ready for it? Right? That's the whole point of me putting that there. Most people, unless you're a jarhead and a Hollywood Marine or you've been to Camp Pendleton, you won't know what that hill is, that mountain. Especially after marching 18 fucking miles on foot, carrying almost 60 pounds in gear, if you count the boots you're wearing and all the mud and dirt in your fucking underwear. It was a fucking trial. But if you made it through that, if you understood the problem, right, it helped you. It helped you understand. It helped you get ready for it. It helped you deal with it. And that's what being prepared is about, and helping people around you. They may not be as ready as you. They may not be as able as you. Like I didn't pick Tan up in one hand and carry him up the fucking hill, but I fucking drug his ass up. I helped him enough that he could help himself. Okay, that's why people that have been in this prepping a lot longer, they're paying attention to the politics. They know the game. They're more prepared than your family or your cousins or your friends who you've been telling for years, get fucking prepared. Can you see what's coming? And they're like, yeah, I got some food. I got a couple of cans of soup last week. Great. Nice fucking work. How about you? Well, I went and got a couple of boxes of shells for my 30-30. Great. Nice move. You're doing something at least, right? That's what we're doing, is we're dragging these fucking people along with us until they get so close. They see the problem in front of them, and they're going to think of it as being insurmountable. It's not insurmountable, but it ain't going to be very fucking easy either. So that's it, Bjork. So that's the thumbnail, and that's the reason I put it there. Everything is symbolic. Everything has meaning. Everything has purpose that I talk about. And I've told everyone for years, I am a rough, crass, crude fucking jarhead. I've been rough my whole life before I was a fucking jarhead. While I was a jarhead, afterwards, it doesn't fucking matter. But there's a reason for it. And there was a reason I'm this way. And it was because of what is coming, so that I could be here and be ready and help America win this fucking battle that we're going to fight, and hopefully win the war as well. But I'm not going to bend the knee to some fuckhead from the Vatican or from Mecca or from Buckingham fucking Palace or from Tel Aviv. It's just not going to fucking happen. Thank you, Biaxo. And thank you, Jolene and Uman, for being here as well. I tell you. Right. I have hope in one hand and shit in the other. The shit will always stink. But the hope and the prayers are that we make it through all this, regardless of having this handful of shit. I see the shit that's coming. We can't avoid it. It's going to get us. But by being prepared, that should get us through it. All right. Jolene, Uman, who wants to step up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We got about 45 minutes to go. And we got Heidi. Heidi says, Uman, my alien neighbors finally cleaned up their backyard and trashed my garage and broke all but one window. What the fuck is that all about? You see, this is the sort of thing that just goes off. It makes me go off. It makes me want to fucking get pissed. Because you're not there to fucking defend yourself. Or you're incapable because they out fucking number you. That is fucked up. You know, when it comes to just bad people, they need to fucking hear about it. Being polite, that's the first thing you try. If people don't respond to polite, they don't respond to courtesy, then they need to start hearing about law. I'm sorry about that, Heidi. Sorry, I wasn't there to fucking tell your neighbors to clean their shit up. And if they try that shit again, they'll be fucking finding their ass kicked up so high between their fucking ears, they think they're the goddamn hunchback of Notre Dame. All right, let's move on if we shall, before I lose my shit. I don't like people being taken advantage of. Dr. 762's in the house with a $10 super chat. Super chat button's right there. You hit that. Your questions, comments here will make you famous. And Dr. 762 says, John, tinfoil hat moment here. I hear some AI programs are predicting Russia and China on an altercation, probably a CIA operation. What do you think of the odds? Seems that are supposed to dislike Russia. There's a problem. You see, China's on China's side. Russia is on Russia's side. Allegedly, supposedly, they're also trading partners, right? They're developing currency exchange avenues because the SWIFT system, which is controlled by Europe, the United States of America, and their allies, who I've mentioned before, right? But Russia really doesn't like China. But they've developed, shall we say, cooperative agreements. We're seeing a changing of allies. Japan is now quietly, but not silently, objecting to what the United States of America is doing with tariffs and realignments. And they're actually working with China. That's right. Japan is working with China. They haven't worked with each other in a long time. And the last time they were in a war was World War II. And the Japanese sorely abused the Chinese. They took their women, they raped their women, they made them comfort, which just means sex slaves, comfort girls. China has not been happy with Japan, but now they're all buddies. Russia is not communist. Russia is a federation of states. They're not perfect, far from it, but they're not communist like China is. Yet they're trading partners. They're resource partners. Remember, China doesn't have oil. China doesn't have uranium. China doesn't even have its own fucking coal. So China relies on the whole world to provide them energy, and Russia is one of the ones that do that. So AI programs, of course, they're running games, war games. And I guess if you take variables, different variables, like, say, tariffs or political party leadership and their platforms, and you put these into the AI program, it'll tell you who wins, who loses, what the other countries are likely to do based on their political alliances and their current political leadership. Now, China has a much bigger problem than the world, well, most of the world, shall we say, knows, because the American media wants you to believe that Trump is going to lose to China in the tariff war. Well, we got one story that says, well, the Chinese factories are hurting. They're laying people off. They're cutting production because orders have been filled and they're not being reordered because American companies are not fulfilling their normal obligations. And then you got other reports coming out saying, oh, that's bullshit. That's a lie. And American companies are buying this stuff. They're not giving up. Companies right now are now, in my opinion, from what I've seen, are now saving their pennies, Dr. 762. They're starting to pull back on their spending. They're importing. They're not going to import as much so that they don't have money out there. They're not sitting on hundreds of warehouses full of goods that they can't sell because, well, there's a recession in America. And there's been a recession in America for the working poor. There's been a recession for the EBT welfare community, but they get free money anyway. And lower middle class. People have made it to the middle class, but they're not, they're not super comfortable. They're still living paycheck to paycheck, month to month. They're in debt. They have very little reserve cash. These people have been in a recession. That includes me, people like me. I'm just a regular fucking guy. But what they're saying is later in this year, or maybe even next month, the upper middle class and then the wealthy are going to start feeling this economy. So they're going to stop buying stuff, which is really going to hurt the economy, which is why these corporations are not buying Chinese stuff. So yeah, right. AI programs can calculate all this. They can tell us what Russia and China are going to be thinking and doing, what the price of oil is going to be, what price of energy is going to be. What are we going to do with all these shipping containers? What are we going to do with all these ships? Who's going to buy all the oil? What's the price of oil going to do? You remember a couple of years ago, or several years ago, I should say, oil was negative, $32 a fucking barrel, negative $40 a barrel? They kept shorting it so much it was negative. Absolutely ridiculous because it's nonsensical and impossible. But yet there it was. Those were the numbers. You think that couldn't happen again? The price of gold, the price of silver, the price of uranium, the price of coal. Who knows what's going to happen with these fucking people? It is some crazy business, right? We don't have to be enemies with China. We don't have to be enemies with Russia. But for fuck's sake, this company, or this country rather, needs to get the enemies of this country out of this country. Get the enemies of our country out of positions of power and authority. And it's not happening. The Republicans are acting like they're not in authority and control. Maggot Mike Johnson isn't doing a fucking thing. The only thing they've done is managed to come back from yet another vacation and put together legislation so that we can't criticize Israel. What? That's all they've done? They haven't codified any of Trump's America First. They haven't done jack shit. Right? We won the election last November. We got Trump in on January 20th. And here we are, May the 4th. And we got jack shit done. And tomorrow is May Day for the Russians. And guess what? Guess what? Unbelievable, folks. Zelensky is still threatening Russia that he's going to do something. Threatening Russia that he's going to attack them, maybe send some missiles into Moscow. And Russia, through Sergei Lavrov and others, has let the world know if that happens, they've got nuclear weapons and they will use them. They want World War III. They want nuclear weapons. Kiev is going to turn into a puddle of fucking glass. Zelensky is now at a point of no return. Right? He rejected Victory Day truce. He's doubled down on his threats. Moscow's parade for May Day is going to be packed with not just Russian dignitaries, but foreign dignitaries. And it wasn't, I apologize, I was incorrect. It wasn't Sergei Lavrov. It was Medvedev, former president of Russia. He kind of changed places with Putin oftentimes. Medvedev is in charge, and then Putin's in charge, but Putin's always been the man. But Medvedev has said, hey, look, nuclear retaliation, it's on the board. And Zelensky, the European Union, and the World Economic Forum want that war, folks. And they're going to get it if they attack Moscow. And wouldn't it be the same? Wouldn't you think it'd be the same as what if Ukraine bombed Washington, D.C.? Wouldn't we expect the military command to light up Ukraine with nukes? Right? You don't fuck with the bear. You don't poke the bear and expect the bear not to do anything. But Zelensky is continuing to push for it. Unbelievable world we live in, folks. It's almost as if they're just the retardation is off the hook. Like humanity just decided to lose its collective intelligence and just push for pure evil. And that's what I think these Democrats and Rhino Republicans want. They are the uniparty. They're like a fucking wing nut. A wing nut, right? You grab each wing and you turn it. Well, you got the right wing and the left wing. But they both turn the same fucking nut, right? Crazy shit. Okay, let's have some more fun out there. I'm wondering what's on your guys' mind. And we got Dan, the big man Erickson, with a $10 super chat. He says, only 100 days into the Trump presidency, and they are just starting to lose their minds. With over 1,300 days left, it should get interesting. And that is a very fascinating perspective. Yeah, I mean, look, we are just over 100 days into Trump taking office. And yeah, we've got over 1,300 days left. We've got 3 years, 0.75. 3.75 years of Trump left. And the left has lost its fucking mind. The right-wing Republicans are a bunch of fucking losers and have given in. The screwball Muslims are going nuts. The drug lords are saying we ain't quitting. They're not giving up. They're not backing up. They're not stopping. They have to be defeated. You can't convince an enemy to leave the field of battle when the leadership has lost its fucking mind. That's right. That's why the Ukrainian army is still out there getting slaughtered on a daily basis by the Russians. Because in Kiev, you got Zelensky saying, I ain't giving up. It's because he hasn't been killed. You have to deal with the correct enemy to win the war. Trump is not dealing with our enemies. He's playing fucking games. I want him to tell the Crown, England, to go fuck themselves. Same with the Vatican. You don't own America. Same with Israel. You don't own America. Same with China. You don't own America. Pull the trigger, tear off the fucking Band-Aid, show us what is going on and who's pulling the strings. Who's the old man behind the curtain? Right? We want the Epstein lists. Right? We want, you said, arrested. We want all of the congressmen, all of the bureaucrats. I want the FBI's budget cut. I don't want more FBI. I want less FBI. I want them all thrown out, exposed, take their fucking pensions, make them as poor as the rest of us, take their fucking power, and make America great again. Oh, it's going to get fucking interesting, Dan. Make sure you are prepared, brother. Make sure all of us are prepared. We've got one hell of a fucking 3 3/4 year left. And inside that, we're going to have 2 elections. And we're going to have micro conflicts everywhere. Thank you, Big Dan. I really appreciate your great support. You're always here, and it is tremendously appreciated. Wow. Okay, Jolene, thank you, Dan. And who do we want to pop up there next? And it's Uman. He said the first 30 days had crazy offensive momentum. That changed in the last 60 days. Things have slowed down. The left is getting traction with the counter actions. And in my opinion, it's not going well. Trump did have some incredible momentum the first month because he announced what he wanted to do. Now, in any engagement, you take your best moves, right? Your strongest offense, your best strategy, and you send it in the direction of the enemy. And the enemy will expose themselves and show you who they are and show you what they brought to the fight to play with. How many of them are there? Are they going to back up? Right? Are they going to run? Are they going to fight as they retreat? Or are they going to double down, dig in, and fight to the death? That's what Trump needed to do, was come out swinging like he did. And we found out who the enemy is because they retaliated. The Democrats retaliated. Those countries backing our rogue, double agent, bullshit scumbags in D.C. China and their bought and paid for politicians showed their hands. The mainstream media showed their hands. The royal family showed their hands. The World Economic Forum showed their hands. Israel has shown its hand. We know who they are and what they're up to by their actions and their deeds. All of a sudden, we can't criticize Israel. Oh, Trump isn't supposed to have a meme made up with him dressed like the Pope. Oh, the Democrats showed us how upset they were over that. How dare you mock the Catholic Church? Wasn't it that fucking bitch from Michigan, Governor Whitmore, who mocked the Catholics by giving one of her little sex slaves a fucking Dorito on her tongue as if she was giving communion? Chuck Schumer's full of shit. We know who he fucking plays for. All of these people are shit stains. Kash Patel hasn't impressed me. Bongino hasn't impressed me. Pam Bondi hasn't impressed me. Tom Homan has barely impressed me. We've got all kinds of trouble. Yeah, we know now because Trump tried launching a huge offensive and he got fucking stonewalled by a lot of his own. One of the few people that actually did anything is Marco fucking Rubio. One of the people I consider least likely to be super patriotic. But now Marco Rubio holds 4 different key posts in the Trump cabinet, the Trump administration. He is Secretary of State, National Security Advisor. He is the USAID administrator, and he's the U.S. archivist. I didn't know about that one till today. Rubio has actually performed like a true conservative, an America first with his professionalism. I wish more of this country had that. I'm fucking shocked. Tulsi Gabbard, I didn't think she'd be worth a squirt of piss. She is trying to hold investigations to hold American bureaucrats liable, responsible, accountable. I don't have much love for her, and she's done great. Others I thought would kick ass have not. Others I thought would kick ass have not. So we're finding out who the tough guys are, who the good guys are. And I think maybe Trump expected this, man. Maybe he anticipated this. I'm going to find out who's on my team and who isn't by turning them all loose and doing a full frontal attack, fucking blitzkrieg. And what did we find out? Who pushed a little, who pushed a lot, and who didn't push at all. I want to know where the vice president is. J.D. Vance has proven to be sharp as a fucking tack and spot on. Where's he at? Right, we found out right away Vivek Ramaswamy dropped out of Doge like you can't believe, super fast. We found out, what is the guy's name? Mike Waltz, who just resigned, was setting up secret communications with the government of Israel. Whoops, there we go again. The government of Israel. has communications networks and spy networks set up around the White House. And Netanyahu, folks, has for years said he owns and controls America. In his little private conversations that aren't that private, if I can get it, if I can hear about his little conversations and remarks about how he controls and owns America way over here and down here where I'm at, then everybody fucking knows that's his attitude. Now, Israel wanted us to go to war and attack who? The fucking Iranians. Who put a stop to that? The Trump administration, and Trump put a stop to that. Sorry, we're not going to bomb Iran. A lot of people have said, well, the fucking Houthis, right, out of Somalia, right? Trump is attacking them for Israel. No, we got a serious problem with the fucking Houthis using their missiles to sink naval ships and civilian ships. They need to have the shit bombed out of them. They're the fucking Barbary Coast pirates of 2025, and they need to be fucking extinguished. For not just for our allies, but for world fucking peace and commercial or mercantilism, right? In other words, being able to do business and live a decent fucking life without a bunch of fucking raghead screwballs sinking our ships because, well, they got some weapons. It's going to be a mess, folks. It's going to be a big fucking mess. I don't have a dustpan big enough to clean it up, but at least I can keep my area cleaned up. All right, what are we doing next? Who's up next? And it's Steve Bishop with a $50 super chat donation. I tell you what, Steve, I'm out of ice, so I'm going to go straight to the shot with you, brother. Whew. There it is. Yes, sir. Glenlivet 15-year single malt Scotch whiskey. Well, it's not curing the scratchy throat, but it certainly isn't hurting it either. Here's to you, brother, Semper Fi. Good one. Woo! He says, hey, John, Semper Fi, brother, Semper Fi, Steve. Semper Fi, man. He says, I wonder if your big red rooster buddy is still around the RMZ. Take care. I sure hope he is. That rooster and I went round and round and round. He's like a Viet Cong of the jungle. Anyways, I wonder. I haven't heard from the jungle neighborhood in several weeks, but I'd like to go back and visit again someday. Folks, we're right at 400 people live. 400 people live on a Sunday night. And I want to thank all of you for doing that. Be sure and thumbs up. Be sure and subscribe. Be sure and share the internet address. Be sure and hit the share button. Hit the repost button on X. Share this information. It's not friendly. It's not fun. It's not nice. It sounds mean. It sounds like I don't like people. I love America. I love Americans. I love other people who love freedom and liberty. Everyone else can fuck off because they're trying to kill us all and destroy our countries. I love the French, people. I love the French. I love the Spaniards. I love the Italians. I love the Germans. I love the Poles. I love everybody. As long as they love freedom and liberty, as long as they believe in their own country and they're not hurting anyone. I love the fucking Russians. I love the Canadians. I love the Argentinians. I love Mexicans, for fuck's sake. I love Mexican food too. Good scotch. But here's the deal. If you're my enemy and the enemy of America, then they can fuck off. And that's why this sounds so rough. This isn't a bunch of fucking peacenik bullshit. This is shit is hitting the fucking fan. The banks are in huge trouble. This is a financial collapse that's coming. It is an investment collapse and shithole. It's a monetary issue. July 1st, we hit Basel III. The value of gold as held by banks is going to go from 50% to 100% reserve asset. The the BRICS nations have put together their payment system to oppose the SWIFT American European system so they can continue to trade. We're going to have a rebalancing. We're going to have a Bretton Woods 3 type moment. It may end up being the Mar-a-Lago Accord. Who knows what they're going to call it when it's all done. But we're going to have some serious resetting going on. Financial, military, political, and social. And quite possibly religious. And a lot of us are going to have a religious moment where you're going to come to your senses and realize, right, what you really believe. I think all of these things are coming in the next couple of years. I hope you are fully prepared. It's no longer a fucking game. It's not a fucking fantasy. You see that hill, you see that mountain, it is big, and it doesn't take fucking prisoners. You either win or it defeats you. And if you're prepared, you can win. Jolene, let's have some more fun here with the comments. Nancy Keg checking in with a $20 super chat donation. He says, to you, John, get better soon. Your topic. Well, I tell you what, I'm on the mend, Nancy. Right? You can't stop me. Not with this. I'm fucking cold. Right? Fucking walking pneumonia. I don't care what the fuck it is. You can't defeat me. Now, I'll give you one, Nancy, while I'm on the subject. Trump has renamed Veterans Day. Has he named it LGBTQ Day? No. Has he named it Muhammad Day? No. Is it We Love Canada's Bullshit Day? No. He's changing and renamed Veterans Day to Victory Day, World War I. And he is going to name May 8th, as Victory Day for World War II. I think we need more holidays for heroes. I coined that all by myself. Holidays for heroes. The men and women who worked for and fought and supported and did everything they could, sacrificed for World War I to defeat and stop the bad bullshit going on, get a day. World War II. The Army fought on Europe. The Marines fought in the fucking Pacific. The Navy, the Merchant Marines, which were folks, civilian mariners shipping goods over to Europe. World War II, they won it. We need more holidays for heroes and zero holidays for these fucking degenerates. Why is there a Black History Month when there's no White History Month? There's not a Hispanic History Month. There's not an Asian History Month. What about the Asians? Well, they helped settle the West Coast. The Chinese, the Japanese, they helped mining. They helped build the railroad. Coming from the other direction, we had the Irish and the fucking Italians and the German immigrants who came and did the same thing coming the other direction. Help settle this nation and make it great. Right? We need holidays for those heroes. Not for one particular group. No month for Muhammad. I don't think this government should be recognizing any Muslim holidays, because all they have for us is hatred and murder and rape and theft. If there was a country out there that was full on Nazi, and I mean besides Ukraine, full on Nazi, wearing swastikas, saying they needed to kill a specific race or a specific ethnic group, would we go, oh, sorry about that, let's have a Führer month? No, of course not. Why? Because we know, what do the Nazis want? Right? They want what Nazis want. How about the communists? Should we have a month for Lenin? A month for Stalin? A month for fucking Trotsky? A month for Karl Marx? Fuck no. What do they want? They want to kill everyone, just like the Muslims do. Why should we do that? Holidays and recognition by government figures should only go to things that are pro-American, that are in line They're copacetic. They're part of our tradition and culture and belief system. Victory Day. I like that. Right? Veterans Day. Victory Day. America's Day. Good golly. Anyways, Nancy, I got fired up over that one. Thank you very, very much. Let's do some more super chats. We're down to about 15 minutes, but I'll stay on here until we've got them all on screen and discussed. Jolene, who's next? And we've got Northern Pike with a $5 super chat donation. He says, John, a Mexican, German, American, Indian told me a tasty treat. A Mexican, German, American, Indian told me a tasty treat is some Hamas on a crunchy tortilla chip. Humor, satire, I guess, was the comment. I like it. You know, one of the good jokes is, well, how do we get rid of the Muslim population, right? You tell the Puerto Ricans they taste like chicken. Anyways, yeah, there's going to be a way. It has to end. You cannot coexist with people who want to murder people who don't look like them. I do not want to murder anyone. I want everyone to behave. I want everyone to get along. I want everyone to obey the law. I want everyone to understand and acknowledge the Constitution is the law of the land, that the history of America is the history of America. The only ones that are against that are people that want to fucking kill us. Right? The Marxist blacks, the Marxist whites. That would be the white liberals. Right? The drug lords who operate under a narco-fascist system. I know that Shine Bomb, it sounds Mexican, right? The president of Mexico's name is Shine Bomb. She is a narco-fascist. She is taking money from the narcotics drug lords. I have no fucking doubts. The Canadian government, they're narco-fascists. They're getting their money from China for bringing fentanyl through and then running it into America. You can't fucking fool and lie to me. Right? The crazy-ass Muslims they're dragging in here, they don't have two fucking dimes to rub together. They're just here to be terrorists. I don't need to apologize for this anymore. They are bad people who have sworn to kill us. We have plenty, folks, plenty of Islamo-fascists and narco-fascists in this country already. Our own politicians are taking money from these fucking groups and selling our country out. The same way, look at Queer Starmer in England. He is a white, fruity-ass homo. Why is he giving the country over to Islam? Because they bought him. He has sold his country out, and the people are just accepting it. The Irish, being the fucking Irish, the fighting Irish, are fighting back first. The Scots have embarrassed themselves. Canadians are so fucking polite, they just got run over. Americans are, well, they've got American problems, don't we? What's our problem? We're fat, we're lazy, we're out of shape, we're sympathetic to everyone's story and bullshit. We're rich and opulent, so we just don't care. Doesn't affect us. Hell, the supermarket has food in it. The gas station has gas. The lights are on. I'm nice and fat and full. I just had a big meal. That's how they've kept Americans quiet. But now we're being fucked with. Not just me and you, not just preppers and vets and American patriot types, but just the average run-of-the-mill stupid-ass American is starting to feel it. And that's when it can get nasty in our country, meaning we can fix our problems. All right. Thank you, Northern Pike, for the great super chat donation. Jolene, who is up next? We've got Carport Carl with a 556. And he says, God bless the PMC, the Prepared Mind channel. Thank you, Carport Carl. God bless all here that have faith in what is good. Love of country, fellow man, and those who are like us. You know that little thing in the Bible where it says, well, if your brother, slaps your cheek, turn him the other one. Yeah, that's fine for my brother. Muslims are not my brothers. You slap me on the cheek, I'm going to fucking let you have it. These drug dealers are not my brothers. Who is your brother? Who is your sister? Those who are like you, those who share your values, your traditions, your cultures, your laws. That's who our brothers and sisters are. So that's why I say it doesn't matter if you're black or Asian or Hispanic. It doesn't fucking matter to me. As long as you share the same traditions I do and the same belief systems. But if you're not an American at heart, if you don't share those things, you'll get no quarter. And you don't deserve one either, because I know I'll get none from you. All right. Thank you, Carport Carl. And yes, I feel very fortunate, very blessed that we have social media to get the word out and talk about what the hell is going on and what we need to do to get prepared for it. And you'll figure out what has to be done when the time comes, where you start, and it'll lead to the state capitol. It'll lead to the country's capital. And all along the way, from wherever the hell you're at starting to when we finish this game, there's going to be a trail of accountability for all the wrong people who had the wrong ideas, whether they are American or from some other country. They're going to find out. And I will not shed a tear for those who came here with evil intent. It's evil, folks. It's evil. Who's up next, Jolene? We got just a few minutes left. I know we got a couple super chats out there. And it's Boomer. He's back with another $20 super chat. He says, why can't Trump just fire Scam Bondi and Trash Patel if they continue to choose to not make arrests? He can. He can, Boomer. I hear you, brother. I want him to fire Scam Blondie. I want him to fire Crash Trash Patel, because they aren't doing what we want them to do, what I hoped they would be doing. What I don't know is Trump 100% on our side, or is Trump trying to play all sides against each other in some 4D chess game? Is Trump using Pam Bondi and Cash Patel to help expose who our enemies are? Like I said, 100%. We send in the troops, right? You send in special forces, you send in fucking recon, you send in the tanks, you send in air cover, and you find out how they're going to fight back. And once you fight back, or they fight back, then you know what to do next. Now, do you think Trump has been overwhelmed at the resistance from foreigners, foreign countries, and foreign agents operating from inside our own government? Could that be the case? It's possible. It's possible Trump may have realized, holy shit, the deep state is even more reinforced than they were during my first term. And people that I thought were on my side have sold out since then. I don't know. I don't know. Trump can fire them. Who's he going to replace Scam Bondi with? I do know that General Flynn has stood up and is continuing to speak out. Right? We know Marco Rubio is holding 4 cabinet positions because Trump probably can't trust those around him. Now, why doesn't Trump give me a call? Hey, what's up there, T-Man? Oh, yeah, this is John. What do you want, man? Oh, you want someone to come in there? Well, listen, I don't fucking play well with fucking retards, scumbags, traitors, and bitches. Right? You bring me in, I'm going to clean fucking house. Right? Is he going to call me? Is he going to call you guys? Knowing that's what we want to do, and we're not going to play any fucking games. Right? Are there anybody who's able, capable, willing to stand up, risk their lives, their family, and their fortunes? Well, that's where we're going with this. I would rather have the fighting be done in Washington, D.C., rather than in all of our homes and in our front yards and in our cities. We're going to find out. Boomer, I want him to. I want him to fire Pam so they see there's a consequence. Or, right, have someone walk into Pam Bondi's office with a cameraman and say, here's a letter from Trump. Open that file right now and start reading some fucking names. Kash Patel was supposed to turn the FBI into a museum, clear out all of the floors at the fucking J. Edgar Hoover building. I'd like to see that happen. I don't want a bunch of DEI fucking replacement screwballs there. I'm tired and sick and fucking disgusted that they promoted these anti-American, anti-patriot fucking J6 hunters and their good buddies. Makes me sick to my stomach. And I am completely and totally suspicious that Trump is selling us out. That this is just a big fucking game. Be that as it may, no matter how it turns out, folks, right? Ultimately, you and I are going to get the truth. We're going to get the facts. At least as much truth and as many facts as we need to see where we stand. When the fight leaves Washington, D.C. and it comes out into our streets, that's when we'll know. That's when you'll know who you can trust. If we hear about Scam Bondi doing her fucking job, oh, we can trust you, great. If Congress passes this bullshit legislation, making it illegal to criticize Israel or boycott them, and Trump signs it, then we know Trump is owned. We know Congress is owned. If the Supreme Court doesn't shoot it down before the ink is even fucking dry, then we know they have sold us out. And the Supreme Court has already shown us they are not a disinterested party. The Supreme Court is not independent. It is a political organization intended to tell us what we're supposed to believe. It is no longer an independent body concerned with the vagaries and fine points of law. It is now a political body that is interfering with our nation and our Constitution. Or it's refusing to step in and interfere with lower courts that are trying to destroy and impede the president and his power and the Constitution. The number one thing everyone was concerned about was illegal immigration. That means gang members and Muslims. And Trump has been trying to get him out, and he's being hamstrung by these fucking judges. I think Florida has basically said, we don't give a fuck about your judges. We don't give a fuck. You have no jurisdiction in Florida. Go fuck yourselves. I hope that's the case, and it continues to be so. Jolene Uman, we have another super chat donation. What are we doing here? We got Dan the Man Erickson back with another $10 super chat. And he says, I have a rear license plate frame on my Tacoma pickup that has an AR-15 picture and says, come and take it. I get more thumbs up from other drivers than gestures by the freedom haters. Oh, you bet. You bet, Dan. God bless you for doing it too. Right? I used to wear a shirt that says I'm pro-choice. On my back, it had a picture of about a dozen different firearms. It says, I am pro-choice. I like all these guns. And I would, ride my motorcycle down the street in Florida here. And people love that shirt. They'd stop me at stop signs and give me thumbs up and say, great fucking shirt, man. I think Jolene got me that shirt. In any event, it's okay. But also remember that if you're going to have a political statement on your vehicle, whether you've got a Trump hat in your windshield, just to piss people off like I've got, or a license plate frame, that's interesting. Man, Jolene. StreamYard just says it lost access to the Facebook account. I don't know if we just lost Facebook. In any event, hey, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank everybody. What have we got left? Anyone out there? I've got a bunch of stuff, but I'm out of time and I'm starting to run out of voice. Okay. Mr. Uman, thank you. And Jolene says, what is she writing here? As we end the show. I'll check Facebook after the show. Well, there it is. They want to silence us. They don't like facts. They don't like truth. They don't like America. They hate our freedoms, our Constitution. They hate our rights. Should I be silent? Should I be softball? Or should I tell it like it is? You guys tell me to tell it like it is. You support the channel with super chat donations. You share the links. And social media wants to kill us. I don't tell anyone to break the law. I am not a fucking spy. I don't hate America and trying to throw it over. I'm not robbing people, raping people, stealing their cars. I'm not committing arson or destroying personal or private property. The most I do is hurt the feelings of those who hate America. And isn't that just fascinating that that's enough to get someone kicked off of any social media platform? The love of your own country and the exercise of your rights. Don't give up, don't quit, don't give in, and fight lawfully and understand all of your rights. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. God bless. Semper Fi.